You want a story? I went to the weirdest school in the world, and whilst I was at this school, myself and 9 friends wrote a list of 50 things to do before we left the school. One of the things on this list was to make a teacher cry. Not proud of that now, wasn't proud of it then, although we'll learn why when I get into the story. To say we're 15, 16 years old, and this one was a real learning experience. We had one teacher, I'm not going to say what subject, who was the youngest teacher in the entire school, and we suspected that when it came to ticking this thing off the list, in all likelihood it would be her that we would make cry. On the day it happened, we didn't go into the lesson with the intention of doing it, and we were going through a phase where for some reason we were so attached to making animal noises. Not how it started, we were just all talking really loudly and this teacher was getting more and more frustrated, and as she got more frustrated, one of my friends just started making a dog noise. And when he started making a dog noise, I started making a monkey noise. When I started making a monkey noise, someone else started making an elephant noise, and before you knew it, the entire class sounded like a zoo, although it wasn't the entire class. It was just the boys, and I distinctly remember looking across the classroom at the girls, including my girlfriend who was sat directly opposite me, and they were all just sat in silence looking at us like, what are you doing? Before we knew it, unfortunately the teacher was crying, but it got significantly worse. She collapsed onto the floor and seemed like she was going to pass out. Then seemed like she was sort of vaguely fitting. My girlfriend at the time, who was quite close with this teacher, ran to the front of the classroom, opened her drawer, took out an EpiPen, which she then had to stab into her leg, then had to all leave our class. I mean, the weirdest thing about that is we never got in trouble for it. I reflect with a lot of guilt, to be honest, about how that teacher, being the youngest in the school, probably the newest qualified teacher, was probably quite embarrassed at the fact she lost control of her class. Something that we thought was going to be funny ended up not really being funny at all, to be honest, but it was ticked off the list. You can have that.